YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Yella. This is my very first time trying to go live on YouTube. Just wanted to keep my subscribers up to date and aware of what's going on. I've been trying to upload a video that me and Carrington did for the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. I got it yesterday in the mail, so I got it a couple days early before I guess it's released to the public. So I did like a little unboxing on that. Been trying to upload it. For some reason I'm having difficulties uploading that video. But basically I ordered directly through Samsung.com. I got the 512 megabyte model with the 8 gigs of RAM. So I'm definitely going to put that to the test to see if RAM management is going to be better on this model. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I'm a big time Note fan. In fact, that's probably the only Android phone that I would purchase going forward. I also use an iPhone, so I've got a couple iPhones, including the iPhone 10. But when it comes to Android, the only phone that I really mess around with is the Note. So I love the Note lineup. And if you look back through my history, you see that I've owned a bunch of Galaxy Notes. Now, so I'll give you guys kind of my first impressions of this phone, which I'm actually using as we speak. I'm driving back from work today. I'm commuting in about 2 hours every day, probably for the next couple months for work. So I'll have plenty of time to test this phone out. But first impressions of the phone, the build quality is very solid. I do like that they basically kept the same style as the Note 8. One thing I don't like though is that they moved the volume keys up on the phone, so it's closer to the top of the phone now. So basically, if I'm holding the phone in my right hand, which I'm doing right now, it's very hard to reach the volume keys with my index finger. All right, so I already don't like that. I feel like they did that on purpose to kind of force you to use the Bixby button, which seems to be easier to reach now. It's sort of almost in the middle of the phone. But a good fix for that is to basically hold the phone more in your left hand. And that way you can probably hit the arrow keys for your volume, your up and down. You can easily hit those with your thumb, and then your index finger can kind of hit your power key on the opposite side of the phone. So I guess that's a fix, you know, if you're good with holding the phone in your left hand. The placement of the fingerprint reader is in a better location now below the camera. So I mean, it took some getting used to on the Note 8 to reach that fingerprint sensor, but I have larger hands, so it was a little easier for me. So I didn't really complain about that too much. The S Pen functionality, I haven't had a chance to mess around with it too much, but I do like the fact that it is Bluetooth now and you can kind of just use it, especially for taking pictures. So you're holding the phone out there, you can just use the S Pen, you click the button to take the photo, so that'll be good for like group photos and selfies and things like that. But my biggest thing that I really want to test out is this battery. All right, so we'll talk about the battery briefly. 4,000 milliamp battery. I'm gonna let it go through a couple battery cycles first before I can really comment on it. But so far, it seems like a pretty decent battery. The gripe that I have with Android, period, with their batteries in Samsung, is that compared to an iPhone, and I'm doing this based on experience over the last probably 8 years, okay? If you've had both, you can kind of speak to this. So on an iPhone, when the phone is at 100%, it kind of stays at the 100% mark for probably at least a half hour, sometimes even longer. All right, meaning that I can mess around with the phone, I can check social media, send text messages, check email, things like that, and my battery stays at 100% for a long time. The thing with Android and maybe even Samsung in particular is that battery drops pretty quickly. So you're at 100%, you do a few things and you're already down to 99%. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But for this phone in particular, I'm going to kind of compare it to my iPhone 10 in the upcoming weeks just to see side by side, using them pretty much the same apps, same usage, to see how fast I drain the battery out. If the phone can last me the entire day, and when I say entire day, basically I get up around 6:30. From 6:30 until hopefully I try to get to bed around 11. If I still have a charge, so say I'm still at like 20% when I put the phone in the charger, I would be happy with that. So if I can make it to the end of the day, still be around 20% to spare from 6 or 6:30 a.m. until like 11 p.m., I would consider that very good battery life. Okay, and that's with some use. So I mean, like checking emails, on social media, responding to text messages, watching a couple YouTube videos, things like that. I would consider that really good battery life. So hopefully that's what the Note provides. Outside into gaming, there's a couple games that I usually put on every phone or tablet to see how fast the game loads, but that could just be the area that I'm driving through. So you had to get. Let me know if you're going to pick up the 9 if you already got myself. But I have to have two. I always have to have a phone based on the ecosystem, and a lot of people in my inner circle all have iPhones. But the Note is definitely my go-to when it comes to Android. So once again, this has been my first live video. Hopefully not my last, but look forward to hearing from you guys, and keep a lookout for some future content. All right, it's your boy Yella. I'm out. Peace.